The voice of the drum calls. It sings a song of those who came before us and those to come. A song of survival and strength. A song of participation and voice. A song that calls us together. When we come together and participate in the 2010 census, we use this tool as the voice of all our Native people. Our voice. It is in our hands. 2010 census.
Hello, I'm Kimberly Acosta. Welcome to the Native News Update on Tuesday, May 18th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The Lumbee of North Carolina, tired of being not quite a tribe in the eyes of the federal government, are watching their best ever chance at recognition slip away because of a dispute over the role gambling should play in their future. Failure would mean the largest Native American tribe east of the Mississippi would continue missing out on millions in funding for housing, education, and health care. President Barack Obama has appointed the CEO of S&K Technologies to the National Advisory Council on Indian Education. Thomas Acevedo is one of 6 people Obama named to the council. Acevedo, a member of the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes, is a former chief of the staff for the Mohican tribe in Connecticut and a former chief of staff for the National Indian Gaming Commission. Also appointed to the Advisory Council by Obama were Derek Bailey, tribal chairman for the Grand Traverse Band, Robin Butterfield, senior liaison within the Minority Community Outreach Department of the National Education Association, Robert Cook, principal of Pine Ridge High School in South Dakota, Deborah Jackson-Dennison, superintendent of the Window Rock Unified School District on the Navajo Reservation, and Alice Spotted Bear, vice president for Native American Studies at Fort Berthold Community College in North Dakota. For thousands of years, human societies were shaped by their environment, and through that relationship, we developed several survival methods that were both healthy and sustainable. Today, as people try to shape the environment to fit our needs, we not only damage the planet, but we lose our hard-won indigenous knowledge just when we need it the most. That's the argument posed in Dan Wildcat's new book, Red Alert: Saving the Planet with Indigenous Knowledge. While some people still debate the cause and extent of environment changes, the Haskell Indian Nations University professor writes that the people we should really be listening to are those who have lived in nature for generations. Assistant Secretary of Indian Affairs Larry Echohawk announced on May 17th a Memorandum of Understanding between the Bureau of Indian Education and Nike, Inc. The Memorandum of Understanding presents an opportunity for both the Bureau of Indian Education and Nike to address health and social lifestyle choices in American Indian and Alaska Native communities that contribute to disease and other medical conditions. Under this Memorandum of Understanding, the Bureau of Indian Education and Nike will launch a campaign with a series of healthy lifestyle messages for Indian country. The campaign will focus on bringing the best health information to American Indian and Alaska Native communities to help them gain a better understanding of the importance of every individual to exercise at any age, particularly those with diabetes. After years of hearing about the difficulties that Alaska Native students face in college, it was encouraging to learn that such students graduated in record numbers from the University of Fairbanks this past weekend. In a class of 1,176 students, almost 23% were Alaska Native or American Indian, according to the estimates from the University of Alaska Fairbanks. To provide some perspective, the percentage of Native graduates at the University of Alaska Fairbanks is well above the percentage of Native people in Alaska's total population. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, Native Americans account for 15.3% of Alaskans in 2008. University officials said they aren't sure why Native students seem to be succeeding at a greater rate. Part of it might be the presence of degree programs that appeal to Native students. Part of it might be the effort made to support Native students at the institution. It also might be the result of a cultural shift within Native communities in Alaska that places greater emphasis upon higher education and learning. The results, whatever the reason, are good for Alaska Natives and the state in general. The opportunity for an education at Mount St. Mary's University was one Carl Little Owl couldn't let slip through his fingers. President Thomas Powell recognized the need to reach out to Native Americans. Little Owl, a tribal member of the Crow Nation in Montana, said, "When he reached out to me personally, I took that as a calling, and I couldn't let that chance go by." When Little Owl received his degree May 16th, he became the first Native American to graduate from the 202-year-old Catholic University. While Little Owl is the first Native American to receive his degree from the Mount, he will not be the last. Since his enrollment, the university has established its American Indian program, coordinated by Little Owl. The program will recruit Native American students and provide support services to ensure they succeed. And that's the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and have a grand day.